Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Love Wreck Legacy Challenge. I'm so happy to say that today we will be celebrating Hie's birthday. This will be the last birthday we'll have with her. She's aging up to a young adult and we'll be moving her out so that way we have a little bit more room around the house. Hie had graduated high school early last episode and joined the conservation career, something she took inspiration from her second dad, Dwayne. Tamaha was also aging up today to a teen, and it felt bittersweet. Tamaha was slowly feeling a little bit less a part of this family. Though she loved her siblings and her mom, she couldn't help but shake the feeling that she was the odd one out. Hie with her dad Kiyoshi was still in Ryu's life. Sometimes they would go out on dates and, obviously Malia's dad was still in the picture with the twins now in the family. Tamaha just felt that her part wasn't as loved. She went off to school with Malia with her heads kind of in the clouds, and Ryu began getting prepared for the birthday party. Malia and Tamaha soon came back from school, Malia having to take a day off of her drama club. She wasn't too happy about it. Hie was the most excited though. She was mixing her signature iced tea and making sure everyone came in to have some of the hors d'oeuvres she made with Ryu. She had a special surprise for Atalia. She wanted to prove to, everyone how much she loved Atalia, how much she wanted to be a part of her family, to introduce her into her own. And soon we were blowing out the candles. Ryu went first, blowing out and becoming an adult. Then Hie, becoming a young adult. I ended up giving her the grouch because I rolled it twice and it came up. And then last but not least, Tamaha aged up to a teen. I gave her the Child of the Island trait. I just felt like that fit right with her. We eventually went and aged up all of the other characters that needed to be the same age. Nani becoming a teen, Kei becoming an adult, Kyoshi an adult, and then Talia finally into a young adult. And that's when Hie did it. She proposed and Natalia said yes when something horrible happened. Kyoshi did not like that Hie was getting engaged. Hie tried to stand up for herself, but Kyoshi just screamed at her, saying how inappropriate it was to marry Atalia. And Atalia felt horrible and told Hie that it was okay, that she should move in with her and they'll figure it out together. Ryu was heartbroken but understood, screaming at Kyoshi and telling him that they would never see each other again and that he was no longer a part of the family. The next day felt a little bittersweet. Hie had moved out to live with her now fiancé. Tamaha was a teen, and for a second she realized that not everyone has a good dad. Though Dwayne did pass away, his ghost does haunt the house and she's able to actually connect with him. Malia doesn't have the best relationship with her dad, a festering grudge growing between the two. The twins weren't old enough to be able to understand relationships. Now Hie with Kyoshi, leaving Tamaha to be the only child of Ryu that actually liked her dad. It was weird, but that's how it went. Tamaha went away on the computer learning some programming skills for future purposes. Though she enjoyed being out with nature more, Tain had put it into her that being on a computer and playing video games was just as much fun. Dahama went to her first day of high school. She was excited, going to her locker and decorating it, freshening up, and trying to become friends with some of the kids at the school. Lavender Flowers was a sweet girl, but she didn't seem to have the same sense of humor that Tamaha did. She tried talking to a boy named Sidney Price, but he quickly shot her down, even though she wasn't even flirting. Even Wolfgang, which felt weird to see him as a teen again because of the save file corruption I had a while ago. I never really deleted him, so he's back in the world as a teen. But I don't think I'll ever romance him because, I had a whole generation that came from him. But anyways, Tamaha didn't really feel like she was doing anything right. No matter how many friends she was trying to make, she just kept on going back to her phone and texting Nani. That's when Tane asked her if she could hang out after school, and she said yes. They had met up at the bar in Sumani, sitting down and talking about how horrible their first day of school was. Tane was talking about how some kids kept on picking at him for his accent, and Tamaha was retelling the stories of how no one really cared about her humor. No one was staying on the same wavelength. They laughed and giggled and started doing some sand sculptures to make themselves feel better. No matter what, the island would always take care of them. And Tamaha realized that all she really wanted was, for Tane to be with her. She slowly developed a crush on him. She wasn't going to do anything about it. She didn't want to ruin whatever friendship she may have had with him. Then Tane asked her, "Would you go to prom with me?" And she couldn't help but say yes. Which she then quickly interrupted, saying, "Oh, as friends. I'm sorry, I meant as friends. Do you want to go to prom as friends?" And Tamaha still said yes, though now it felt a little bit more hurtful. She realized her crush wasn't as small as she had wanted. The next day, the sea salty air swept through the windows and helped Tamaha get out of her head. Whatever crush she had on Tane, she first needed to figure it out herself before making any moves. Ryu quickly made some breakfast for the family and eventually, instead of eating, went out to get ready to open up the business today. She needed to make some paintings and set up whatever she needed. Ryu was struggling with the fact that Kiyoshi was actually a horrible person. Though it should have been clear when she was pregnant with Hiei in the beginning, she didn't want to accept and honestly leave Kiyoshi behind. She had somewhat agreed that Kiyoshi wouldn't be a part of Hiei's life, at least while she was young, but she had hoped that when she had grown up, Kiyoshi would realize and want to be a part of it then. But seeing what happened at the party, Ryu was heartbroken. She knew that now the only person in her life she could really rely on was Aleki. But as much as she loved Aleki, he didn't want to be a dad. He may love the kids, but he didn't know how to parent. He wasn't sure where to start or where to end. So focusing on the business was all she could think of, which ended up being fantastic because the household funds reached 50K. As soon as the school bell rang and drama club ended, Malia rushed out with Isaiah. She wanted to take him to the beach while the sun was still up. The two sat down, built sand sculptures, and beachcombed together. Though Malia did like Isaiah, she was beginning to realize that it was kind of hard talking with him. There wasn't much the two shared in common. Elijah had already aged to a teen, and It felt weird hanging out with someone that much older than you, or at least someone that looked like it, when all of a sudden Aleki came out of nowhere. Her dad came up to her asking how she was, and she said that she was out with a friend. Aleki gave Isaiah a side-eye before laughing and moving on, watching the two now from a distance. Malia enjoyed having her dad around, now more than ever. Isaiah was sweet and kind to her, but she was wondering if she could find someone as wonderful as her dad. Alrighty, so it's actually 5 a.m. of the next day. I was trying to have this planned rather than happening it right away, but because it's a holiday, I couldn't for some reason. Toki unfortunately has passed away from old age, along with Kaori and Akira. I am a little sad. I wanted this to be like a montage where Malia finally meets her cousin, and the two sisters, Ryu and Pan, like reunite and talk, or Keita, sorry, Pan's her last name. Keita and Ryu like reunite and kind of talk a little bit. Also, Malia has become best friends with the Green Reaper, surprisingly. I'm not really sure how that happened. That was great. So yeah, it's just a funeral, and then my computer crashed. So all of this has actually never happened in game. I ended up having to kill Toki because she didn't die, and Kaori and Akira. So we end up not having a funeral again. So yeah. But anyways, it's technically after the funeral. The family has kind of all settled in. The twins had aged up to toddlers. I forgot to record that before the crash. So they are toddlers now. Atama and Kiki, they're very cute. I decided to kind of color code them. So Atama is green and Kiki is yellow, and they're so cute. I literally love them so much. But it is barbecue day, and Ryu is setting up to make some snacks and eventually a dinner because she is hosting a barbecue party. Though her mother has just passed along with her aunt and technically stepdad, though her mother never remarried, she wanted to have the family all reunite and mourn together. The grief needed to be fixed with food. And that's what Ryu was doing. Keita eventually came over to help up with the cooking and setting up, bringing her son, Tainu. Malia and Tainu do not get along. They absolutely hated each other. Malia was trying to be funny, but it came off as being mean and doing too much. And no matter what Malia tried, it never worked. So she eventually gave up. The toddlers were very interested in all of the people around, and Kiki was even more interested in the food. And that's gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you guys liked it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for next episode. Remember to stay safe. Bye!